Okay, and it is not just Russia where Americans are currently being held prisoner. According to the James Foley Legacy Foundation, there are currently 59 U.S. citizens being wrongfully detained in 13 countries all over the world. And those are just the ones that have been publicly disclosed. Surely there are others that we don't even know about. There are likely more Americans being held that haven't been put out there because they're scared for their security. So what can be done for all of them? I want to bring in someone who knows a lot about these kind of wrongful detention cases. Barry Rosen was held hostage for 444 days after Iranian militants took over the U.S. Embassy in Tehran in 1979. Barry, thank you for being with us tonight. I can only imagine when you were watching Trevor get released yesterday, when you see these hostages get released, it must bring so much back for you.
Well, first, thanks for having me on. Look, I'm absolutely overjoyed for Trevor and his family, and I think his family did what I think is the right thing. Go to the president, speak out. All too often, and this is the thing I keep counseling many of my Iranian friends, the dual nationals are being held in Iran. Speak out. Tell the president and the administration they need to do something about it all. I am mystified, however, that Trevor is freed in an amazingly difficult time and place in the situation with the Russians, and yet with dual nationals in Iran, we are absolutely hapless. We keep talking the game, but we do nothing. And, you know, in my meeting with the special envoy to the Geneva agreements on the JCPOA, I was told then by Robert Malley that no matter if there is an agreement on the JCPOA or not, the nuclear deal, we will make a deal with Iran for the hostages. That has not transpired. And in fact, they mentioned only 4 hostages, 4 dual nationals, but in fact, there are 5. And the 5th one is hardly known by most Americans. I am tremendously disappointed with the State Department, with the president, and with Robert Malley. Things are not moving along the way they should be.
It certainly is alarming, Barry, that there are so many Americans being held all over the world, and we don't even really hear much about them. We heard a lot about what Trevor went through, his condition when he was behind bars, how he had COVID. Right. What was it like for you when you were being held in Iran?
It was misery, held in darkness, threatened with weapons to my head. They counted to 10 and told me if I did not answer that I was a spy and signed an agreement, they would shoot me immediately. Look, the Iranians know what they're doing. We have to know what we're doing. Stop this ridiculousness with dealing with Iran on the JCPOA unless the hostages are freed immediately. They cannot be staying in Iran under these circumstances, and we negotiate with them in Vienna. It's a joke. It's obscene.
So Barry, you were held for 400 days, or more than 400 days. Did you think that you were going to get out? Did you have hope? Did you lose hope? I mean, what goes through your mind during something like that?
Every day is a misery. You lose hope all the time. I remember counting day by day whether I would ever get out or not. And there was a great deal of hopelessness going on. And I know those Americans and other dual nationals held in Evin prison are living under unbelievably inhumane situations, counting every day of their lives. Remember, they are missing their families. Look, the Reeds, I feel for them, but there are dual national Iranians who have been held for more than 6 years in Iran, and no one talks about them, and no one cares about them. It's time that the United States does something. I think we need to punish Iran more severely than we ever have done. that means
I have
don't
heard from
permit
some
them
families in
any.
the past, Barry. I've heard from some families who have loved ones who are being held captive in different places that the State Department will sometimes tell them, stay quiet, don't talk to the media. I mean, I've even personally reached out to some of these families in the past trying to do stories, and they'll say, we want to, but the State Department has told us to stay quiet. They think it'll do more damage than good. But it sounds like what you're saying is that all of these families should just get as loud as they possibly can.
Absolutely. The worst advice is to keep quiet. I know when I was on my hunger strike in Vienna on behalf of all the hostages who were being held in Iran, I was getting information from these hostages telling me, yes, keep it going. Tell everybody what is going on, because they know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. And for the State Department and those people who are in charge of dealing with the situation to tell families to keep quiet, it's the worst possible policy decision of all. Raise your voice. Talk about the human condition. These people are suffering under inhumane circumstances, and Iran should not be permitted to get an agreement on a nuclear deal while they're holding people hostage and creating a situation where their human rights are violated on a daily basis.
You make a good point of how these hostages know nothing when they are being held. I cannot even imagine how frustrating and terrifying that must be, to be stuck in a situation like that and not even know what is going on. Thank you for all the work that you do, Barry. I know you're fighting on behalf of the other hostages, and thank you for coming on with us tonight.
Thank you. Look, one thing I have to say, Zende Bud Iran. Long live Iran and the freedom for Iran hostages.
Got it. Thank you so much, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.